Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to be testing even further the TBC Heroic run and switching things up quite a little bit from the first video that we did. So I'm actually going to avidly test how much we can earn from disenchanting. I have to send it over to a character, but I've been doing a lot of testing independently, and we have come up that about 6 gold is the threshold for things you want to DE. It's like 6 to 7. It literally comes down to if you get 3 dust or if you get 4 arcane dust for the DE, and they DE from 2 to 5. So it's literally pure chance and gambling. I'm using 6 as a threshold for this video. So 6 in anything, so like anything below 7, I am going to be DEing. And then we are doing our 4 Auchindoun Heroics, and then we are going to, instead of doing Tempest Keep, even though Botanica is exceptional, Botanica does not do enough that it makes up for Alcatraz and the Mechanar for it. So we are actually going to switch it up, and we are going to do the Slave Pens, Underbog, and Steam Vault Heroic dungeons in order to see how much gold that we can possibly get. I've completely emptied my bag, so we are going to do 0. We're going to send all the DEs to our mage to DE, and we are going to process all the cloth into bolts, and then also talk about even going further with tailoring and turning those bolts into pieces of gear that you could DE also, or even turn them into bags to sell on the auction house. So there are a lot of choices there, but really diving into the advanced metrics, advanced things you can do, and you don't even have to have enchanting on the character that you're doing the dungeons on. That is so very important to note, and you can just send them all off to your character and process them that way. So I'm going to get started here. Our timer is at 12:21 right now. You want to make sure that you do Shadow Labyrinth last, and you set your hearth to Shattrath City to make this as fast as possible. So do Shadow Labyrinth last. Do actually Slave Pens last, because it is the most time to go from the start to finish. And then for Hellfire Peninsula, obviously do Shattered Halls last. So you're going to do those 3 last to save the most time possible with transportation and everything. It does add up. And like I said, my time was like 1 hour and 13 minutes last time. So now we are truly seeing it. But anyway, we're going to get into it. These dungeons are very, very easy. What I do, general strategy, is I'm a Windwalker Monk for speed. And then I am going to hit everything with Crackling Jade Lightning and just sort of pull to the first boss. They're really simple. They're never going to kill you. And you can keep going as hard and fast as you want. So it is 12:23. So as long as we're done by 1:23, we will see the total time and results. So I'm going to get after it and see you guys with the results after. Whoop. Alrighty guys, so we finished up every single dungeon. It is unfortunately 1:31. I did die in Shattered Halls, actually the first time I died ever doing this. I pulled too much, got cheap shotted and splatted. But after doing that, this is just the raw gold from the items that we are choosing to sell. So we're going to be about 1,000 gold. We still have a lot of processing to do. So all the cloths, all the lock boxes, all the stuff that we are going to process, DE, and send over. So I will go about that and show you guys exactly what we're processing, what we're working with, and the total amount that we have acquired from all of this farming. But doing those 10 TBC Heroics is 1,100 raw gold in about an hour. We did get a rare recipe that might sell, I don't really know, but we're going to DE all of the stuff and send up stuff and post it all to give you a pure final full number. So I will show you everything we're processing and what that comes out to. So I'll see you then. Voop. Alrighty guys, just for transparency, this is the total amount of stuff we have. We have 92 bolts of cloth, a bunch of things to DE, and a bunch of clams to open. Then I'm going to send it all back to the monk, put it on the auction house, and give you the total amount of stuff that we are going to get. The bolts of netherweave, we will have two options to either make netherweave belts and DE them, or netherweave pants and DE them, as well as take a look at netherweave bags as well. So that is the best use of bolts to really maximize profits and not just sell bolts of netherweave. So I wanted to give you this update, show you exactly where we're at, and send all this loot after it's been processed over to the monks. So I'll let you know what we end up doing with the bolts. We'll take a look at it, and I will share the final results after this. So I'll see you then. Alrighty guys, so we finished processing. It took us about 20 minutes additional to process everything, and I am now opening all these clams. You want to open the clams instead of just selling them, because any pearl you get will sell to the vendor for a lot. We can see the auction house, but we just open them because the clam meat vendors as well as any pearl that you're going to get is better than just vendoring these clams. So we got 5 jagged pearls and some shadow pearls. I know for a fact the clam meat does not sell. We'll put the pearls up there just to see if they sell. But we ended up taking all of the netherweave bolts and turning them into belts, and then DEing the belts. So that was the entire process there. We have someone spamming the train at the auction house. Sorry about that. So we are putting up the dust here for 300 gold right there. That's all the dust from the entire processing of everything. We're going to put up these living essences, bolts of netherweave sell in here. Like I said, I've struggled with the bolts because there's so much netherweave cloth here. It is really worth your time to process it. If you don't want to do belts, you can also do legs. It's literally just a pure coin flip gamble on what they proc. These primals actually do sell really well. So as you can see here, we're selling some primal waters for 75 gold. If you wanted to take this even further, you could look into individual greens for transmogs. A lot of people do buy some of them to make their transmogs cool, but that is a long time selling, and you really got to know which is rare. I'm not about that life, but it could be another way to extract the most possible gold out of this entire farm and doing old TBC things. Something really funny is that Sanguine Hibiscus is selling pretty well as well. It's selling because people want to get Sporegar rep for pet battles. Sometimes I've seen it upward as 4 gold per. So you can make quite a decent amount of gold by even doing that. We'll take a look at these pearls. So these pearls aren't really selling that much. But we'll put it all up here. If stuff sells at these prices listed, we will have a very nice total. This pattern, I mean, last time I put a pattern up here, I didn't think it was going to sell, but sometimes they really do sell. So anyway, let's take a look at all of our auctions. And so we have 1,300 gold up for full process, full selling everything, and putting it all up on the AH. So if everything sells, we are going to see a nice total of 1,300 plus 1,100, making it for about 2,400 gold that we farmed in an hour with 20 minutes of processing after it. So it is a decent gold farm for the daily stuff that you can do. There are things that are out there and better. However, this is super simple and every single character can do it, right? Like, you epic flying in your hearth to Shat is really the only thing that would limit you. And then there's a daily lockout as well. But anyway, just wanted to dive in further, show you how hard it could go if you were to take these maximum steps to process all your cloth, to process all of the loot. Maybe you get lucky, you find a recipe or two, you find some transmugs, you sell the right things. But 7 gold threshold is what I did. I would highly recommend DEing everything under 7 gold, selling everything over it. And, you know, you could get lucky and get some super rare transmug items if you take a look into that too. That could be worth thousands of gold. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to add, definitely drop it down below, and I'll do my best to answer it. And until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well,
I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.